You don't think the Eagles are head and shoulders above and better than the Cowboys?
Head and shoulders above. I think the Eagles are a better team than the Dallas Cowboys right now. But I think football is a funny thing. I think when the Eagles cannot close out, as they showed yesterday on numerous occasions, I think.
Yeah, their defense let them down for sure.
Not just that, Molly. Their defense couldn't get off the field on third down. Their defense couldn't get off the field on fourth down. But the offense couldn't score when in the red zone. The Eagles' offense had multiple opportunities to win that game yesterday when inside game-winning drive, overtime chances to win the game, and they didn't do it.
You know what?
In the red zone.
You know what makes your position laughable? You see,
Nothing.
Yes, it is. I'm about to tell you. This Will Cain is the same Will Cain. Zip it. I'm trying to talk to you. You get an opportunity to respond. You look at the Dallas Cowboys. They just learned yesterday, oh, well, we might need to get Ezekiel Elliott the ball. Just yesterday. Ezekiel Elliott. This is the first time he had over 20 carries in the game. Oh, yeah, this is the first time he had 20 carries in a game this season. You are the same person also who highlighted what the hell's going on. You had questions about Scott Linehan. You had questions about Jason Garrett, okay?
Yeah.
You got questions about Scott Linehan. You got questions about Jason Garrett. You certainly had questions and trepidation because, my God, how could you not get Ezekiel Elliott the ball?
Right.
But now because they got him the ball against the worst run defense in the National
talk about
Football
the
League.
Eagles here?
You know, I'm just saying, now I'm talking about the Cowboys. Now that you've done
Both.
that, here you are sitting there. Now that you've done that, you're sitting there talking and acting like, oh, my God, they've arrived.
First of all, the Cowboys can't win like that with Ezekiel Elliott, only against second-tier teams.
Thank you.
In the NFL, if you're not spreading it out, and let's put it this way, with all
know
the
you bought into
spread
that.
offenses and the dynamism of the passing game, the running game that you're talking about, Will, it's not that it can't work. You could even maybe win a Super Bowl if you have a great defense. Dallas Cowboys don't have a great defense. This is not Jacksonville. This is not Baltimore. If you had a great defense, maybe you could make an argument. You don't. You know it. You're thinking 9-7, maybe 10-6. We all know it's 8-8. You're 2-2. Congratulations. The Eagles are an excellent team. The reason they've been struggling recently is Wentz is going through he's just reading the defenses slowly. He's reading slowly because he hasn't played in a long time. That combined with the fact that they're getting subpar play on the offensive and defensive lines, which were strengths last year, other than Fletcher Cox, there's been no one great on either side of the ball. Lane Johnson gives up a strip sack to a rookie who's never had a sack. Peters is obviously compromised. But
yeah, Wentz was sacked 4 times, hit 11 times.
Offensive lines tend to get better the more they play together. And Wentz's CPU, which is very fast, actually, it's a strength of his game we saw last year, will get quicker as the season goes on. These are not comparable teams. The Eagles are better than the Cowboys.
Max, I mean, Stephen A. and I just wiped the screen. Max could argue both sides because in that whole thing, you argued both sides, both Cowboys this way, but could win a Super Bowl this way. You did it with the Eagles, too. The Eagles only, Carson Wentz can't read defense right now. He's learning a little slow. But they've got problems on their defense as well. Max, listen. No. That was my fun part.
Are you intentionally misconstruing what I'm saying for television, or you really don't understand what I'm saying? Which one is it?
You want to put it up to a popular vote on how confusing this is for it to keep up with you, Max?
You're
you think it's
confusing
genius.
people.
You think it's genius. I'm going to bet that the vote comes back another way. Let me explain to you now what you're not keeping up with. First of all, Stephen A., you're right. I don't trust Scott Linehan. I don't trust Jason Garrett. If they could just run a Xerox copy of yesterday and do that, they can win 10 games.
Don't talk to me. I love you and Max going back and forth.
All right, back to that.
That's y'all do y'all
back
thing.
to
Go
Max.
ahead.
Okay, back to Max.
Take your time.
Max. So you point out when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, you say, oh, you got to spread it out, you got to throw the ball all over the place. You can win with the game plan the Cowboys had, and you even said you can win a Super Bowl with that kind of offensive play.
If you have a great defense, they don't have a great defense.
Max, the Cowboys have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I don't know if you're keeping up, but they are.
Do you think
They've
the
got one of
Cowboys'
the best
defense is
defenses in the
comparable
NFL.
to the Jaguars or the Ravens or something like that? You think
Max,
that they're that level?
How about this, Max? Check in with me as the season goes along. This Cowboys defense is going to consistently prove you wrong, and in the same breath, you will have argued they can win a Super Bowl with the formula the Cowboys have.
And by the way,
now when it comes to the Eagles,
Ravens
you
have
point out that the
targets
problem
at
is,
receiver.
hold on, when it comes to the Eagles, you argued both things now. The only problem you said they have is that Carson Wentz is running a little slow on his CPU. Then you point out they don't have playmakers on defensive line or the secondary right now. At several levels, they're failing. The failures of the Eagles yesterday were multiple. It was not just Carson Wentz. It was failures in the red zone, third down, fourth down on defense. As you said, defensive line. It was in the secondary. The Eagles' problems, and I think the Eagles are good. Don't get me wrong. I think the Eagles' problems were vast, multiple. Let's see if they can correct it all.
No, I didn't say that, Will.
Which part?
I said the line play so far on both sides of the ball has been subpar. other than Fletcher Cox on the defensive end, on the defensive side.
Correct.
On the offensive side, Lane Johnson hasn't been playing well. Peters has the hamstring. We
You
wondered
said that, right.
if the hamstring will be an issue going forward. Right? So maybe it is. The offensive line hasn't played well. I also mentioned offensive lines tend to play better as the season goes on. I applied this not just to the Eagles. I've said the same thing about your Cowboys.
Right.
Of course, they have injuries that won't show up later.
So the Eagles have a lot of problems right now.
That will compromise that. We're talking about this season. Right now, the Eagles have the record they do, and it appears to people like you that the Cowboys have a shot because it's early in the season. As the season goes on, there's many reasons to believe the Eagles will be the superior team to the Cowboys, something you conceded sort of off the top.
I feel like you just conceded. I don't know where we go from here. I mean, you just laid out what I agree with. The Eagles have multiple problems on both lines.
That's a
and don't forget the secondary.
But that's not the question.